Who am I behind the mask? And who am I without it? In our everyday lives, we all play different roles and wear various masks. In social settings at work and even within the family, we unconsciously conform to others' expectations and present a refined version of ourselves. But when we remove these masks and face our most authentic inner self, who are we really? This is a question worth pondering. Swiss psychologist Carl Jung introduced the concept of the persona, helping us understand how individuals express themselves in society and what lies behind these outward behaviors. In this article, we will explore the theme of who am I behind the mask and who am I without it, from a Jungian psychological perspective, revealing how individuals can achieve self-awareness and growth through inner self-dialogue. The foundations of Jungian psychology. The core ideas of Jungian psychology. Jungian psychology, or analytical psychology, centers on exploring the connection between an individual's unconscious and conscious mind. Jung believed that human psychology consists not only of the conscious mind, but also of deeper layers of the unconscious which influence our thoughts, behaviors, and emotions. Personal unconscious contains past experiences, repressed emotions, and forgotten memories unique to each individual. Collective unconscious, a shared psychological structure that transcends personal experience, filled with archetypes and shared human experiences accumulated through history. Persona and the self. Jung defined the persona as the mask one wears in social settings. The persona is a tool we use to meet societal expectations and protect our inner selves, helping us navigate interactions with the outside world. However, the persona is not the same as the true self. It is merely a performance for specific environments. For example, someone may appear confident and decisive at work, but feel vulnerable and insecure in close relationships. This mask and the discrepancy between it and the true self can lead to inner conflict and confusion. Wearing the mask, the social I. The formation of the mask. The formation of the mask arises from the need to conform to societal norms. From childhood, we are taught how to behave and meet others' expectations, gradually developing behavior patterns that fit social standards. Jung believed that this mask serves both as a tool for social adaptation and as a defense mechanism. Example: the mask of a corporate leader. My friendly Ming is a successful corporate leader, navigating his work with authority and calm leadership. However, deep inside, Li Ming feels anxiety and a fear of failure. Whenever work pressures rise, he withdraws to his office to smoke alone, feeling overwhelmingly isolated. His leadership persona is the mask he wears at work, but in truth, he often feels overwhelmed. This mask helps him succeed professionally, but simultaneously distances him from his true self. The role of the mask. Social function. The mask helps us integrate into society and gain a sense of belonging. Wearing different masks in different social contexts allows us to adapt to various relationships and roles. Protective function. The mask protects the vulnerable inner self from being seen or hurt by others. Although masks can be beneficial in some cases, excessive reliance on them can lead individuals to lose touch with their authentic selves, falling into a sense of confusion about who am I? Removing the mask, discovering the true self. The self versus the ego. Jung believed that the ego is the center of the conscious mind, the part of ourselves that interacts with the world. However, the ego is only one small part of the whole psyche. The more important element is the self, which represents the totality of an individual's potential and the true inner essence. While the ego is influenced by external factors, the self lies deeper within, hidden in the unconscious, and requires deep introspection to uncover. Example: rediscovering the inner self. My friend Xiaomei is an outwardly cheerful socialite, but when alone, she often feels lonely and empty. One day, she begins practicing yoga and meditation, journaling about her emotions. Over time, she realizes that her smile has been a mask used to conceal her inner insecurities and loneliness. Through this process, she gradually lets go of some of her social masks and learns to connect with her real emotions, rediscovering her long-suppressed self. Understanding the shadow. The shadow is another critical concept in Jungian psychology. It represents the repressed or denied parts of ourselves, those traits we reject because they conflict with societal norms or our moral compass. Jung believed that true personal integration occurs when we confront and accept our shadow. Example: anger and freedom in the shadow. My friend Zhang Wei appears gentle and kind to his friends, but he frequently feels frustration and anger at work. Every time his boss criticizes him, Zhang Wei feels furious but doesn't dare express it. This anger becomes part of his shadow. Later, through therapy, Zhang Wei realizes that his anger is actually a signal of self-protection, indicating that he needs better boundaries and autonomy. By accepting his anger, he learns to communicate more effectively with his boss and regains a sense of inner freedom. Integrating the mask and the self. The path to wholeness. Jung's concept of individuation. Jung's psychological goal is individuation, which is the process of integrating the ego and the self-consciousness and the unconscious. Individuation is a gradual path towards self-awareness and inner harmony, requiring us to understand and accept the mask, the shadow, and the various aspects of our inner world. Individuation does not mean abandoning all masks. Rather, it is about learning to use them flexibly while remaining in touch with the authentic self beneath. Steps toward individuation. Awareness. Through self-reflection, meditation, and therapy, becoming aware of the masks we wear and the shadows we hide. Acceptance. Accepting the existence of both the mask and the shadow, recognizing that they are part of our protective mechanisms. Integration. Learning to navigate social life while maintaining a deep awareness of the authentic self. Example: a successful individuation process. Lin Xin is an independent female entrepreneur who constantly feels insecure deep down. In her entrepreneurial journey, she has had to project strength and decisiveness, and this mask has earned her respect. However, after years of self-exploration, she realizes her deep yearning for intimacy and care. By accepting her inner vulnerability, she starts forming more sincere connections with those around her, achieving greater balance and harmony in her life. Conclusion: the true self behind the mask. From a Jungian psychological perspective, masks and the true self are not opposites but complementary parts of our personality. Through masks, we adapt and protect ourselves in social settings. Through self-awareness, we can reconnect with our inner essence. In a world where we wear masks to play different roles, we can find our way back to our most authentic selves when the masks come off. The question, who am I behind the mask and who am I without it, ultimately asks whether we have the courage to face our truest inner selves. Jung's psychological theory allows us to understand the complexities of human nature more deeply and find a path toward inner integration. In this process, we learn not only how to use our masks skillfully, but more importantly, how to reconcile with ourselves and achieve wholeness within.